uh, is that because we need energy now, India DST also having a lot of move to produce lithium-ion batteries, and they're taking a lot of initiative to produce a lot of lithium-ion batteries in our country, and they are trying to overcome China. Because energy is the main criteria now, because we need a cheap energy, and if you want to overcome the West, we need to go for clean energy, because the energy, whatever. Just a minute. The energy is based on the two types. What I'm saying is economic impact as well as political impact. Economic impact is you can see the energy in the petrol in India. It's expensive compared to in Sri Lanka or other countries, which is very cheaper because the government is producing and putting in. And political impact is the energy is not in the world, it is not distributed fairly. The fossil fuels is not distributed fair distribution. So there are two impacts, and energy in the world has not been distributed properly. And apart from this economic and as well as political impact, the emissions, as I said, the carbon dioxide emissions is quite a challenging task actually. And you can see that in the Delhi, they have made a carbon dioxide absorption tower, because Delhi is very polluted. And now in this, during this COVID-19, the carbon dioxide emission, then nature reducing the carbon dioxide level because of this COVID-19. So a lot of climate changes happened due to COVID-19. So the carbon dioxide is a major team player in the oil industry. So all fossil fuels, whatever the carbon dioxide, the best challenging, you need to absorb the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide, you can absorb it and heat it and remove it. Still it has a lot of problems in the carbon dioxide. So what the carbon dioxide has a greenhouse effect, and you can see the carbon dioxide increases from 1.6 degree by 2015, and it is increased by 2050. You can see the carbon dioxide rise in the sea level, the temperature rise in the sea level. This is what we need to make more, plant more trees, and forestation is much important in this criteria. We need to absorb carbon dioxide. And there is a China, they made an effort, Lizhu Forest City, where they built 1 million plants and 40,000 trees. They made the plants and trees. You can see that 40,000 trees, so that it absorbs 10,000 tons of carbon dioxide, and it produces 900 tons of oxygen and 57, so that it can reduce the 57 tons of pollutants annually. So we are deforestation with the DLR is going on. So we need to go for forestation, and this China, this is called carbon free city. Carbon free city. So we need, these are the, when you look at first criteria is water, and then you need a water, air, and then energy. This the energy comes in the third criteria or something. The world top priorities is first you need a clean water, and then clean air, and then energy. So these three things are more important. So we need a clean energy generation to produce. You should not produce carbon dioxide. So you should not produce carbon dioxide. So the clean energy devices, when you look at it, all are fuel cells, water electrolyzer. Fuel cells is nothing but they used in Apollo space mission in 18th century, because they used it produces clean water. So it just combine hydrogen and oxygen to produce a clean water. And the basic reactions here is hydrogen and oxygen. So and water electrolyzer, you can see some people have done run the bikes based on water. So they use water electrolyzer. It's just water split up, and it produces hydrogen, which they use in the combustion engine. So so this water electrolyzer is the other way of splitting, water splitting. It's called water splitting. They can produce clean energy. So here also you have oxygen reduction, evolution takes place. Here in the water electrolyzer, you have oxygen evolution and hydrogen evolution takes place. So in fuel cell, you have hydrogen, oxygen combines to produce water. The opposite one is the water electrolyzer, where you break up the hydrogen and oxygen from water. So this is our opposite process. In all this process, similarly, metal batteries, in all process, the common phenomena you can notice is oxygen. So hydrogen oxidation or hydrogen evolution is a two electrolyte process, whereas in the this oxygen reduction, it's a 4-electron process. When you look at the chemistry involved in the oxygen reduction, it's a slow reaction. That's why oxygen reduction is not happen very fast. It is very slow compared to hydrogen oxidation or hydrogen evolution. So this oxygen evolution is a problem. So all these devices, their main phenomena is oxygen electrochemistry. So as I said, in fuel cells, oxygen reduction reaction takes place. In metal batteries, both oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution reaction takes place, and water electrolyzer also oxygen evolution takes place. So these are the common phenomena, and in all these cases, you need a catalyst. You need a catalyst, and for these reactions. So the best catalyst till now is platinum, and this catalyst, how these catalysts plays a role, and you need a good electrical conductivity. It should have nanomaterial, increase the surface area, porosity, hydrophobicity. So these are the things. So all these reactions involved in this all devices. So the question comes, why metal batteries? Now lithium-ion batteries there. People have gone for sodium-ion batteries now. People are attempting sodium-ion batteries, lithium-sulfur batteries. Still sodium-ion batteries is not yet developed, but now the lithium-ion batteries is commercialized. That's why they given Nobel Prize for the last year for the lithium-ion batteries. So the main issue in these lithium-ion batteries is driving range. You cannot drive for long range. That's why they used to swap the batteries. They used to swap the batteries. You can see the for long run.
பெரிய பிரச்சனை ஒண்ணு அந்த மாதிரி
தான் swap the battery.
அப்போ நம்ம
so and then charging speed, so driving range and then charging speed. So you cannot charge very fast. You go to the petrol station or you go to the battery station, you will let a mistake, you cannot charge it very fast. So these are the issues in these lithium-ion batteries. If you want to like a fueling, fuel like a petrol, you cannot take it takes a lot of time. So that what they do is they have two batteries, they swap the batteries. That's what the current technology now in lithium-ion batteries vehicles, electric vehicles they are doing it. So other major problem people are concerned is there is a fire accident takes place in Boeing plane, where there is a these lithium-ion batteries they used. This is a black box. The battery is the so, and they used in the plane, and it was a fire accident. That's why when you go for any when you go to the flight, they will not allow you to take the battery charger or something like that. So because of this fire accident, actually, even if you import some batteries from I think also they will have some restrictions because of this fire accident. So these are the issues in lithium-ion batteries. This fire accident takes place in Boeing plane. After then, people have been worried about these safety issues of the batteries. So you can look at this MG vehicle in the North India. You can cannot play. I don't know why. Okay, it is not playing the video. So this MG vehicle, it has been fire accident in the road. You can see that it was the fire accident takes place, and so this is what the problem of lithium-ion batteries. So then people started thinking of better energy density to drive their better vehicles. So when you look at the energy density, as I said, you look at conventional lead acid, very proven technology, nickel cadmium proven technology, nickel metal hydrides. This you can see the driving range is 100 kilometers. Lithium ion is 160 kilometers. That's why still it's not. And you should have two batteries to swap it or something, recharging it. So you just go for 160 kilometers. So the future battery should have higher kilometer than more than 160 kilometer. When you look at it, zinc air, you can see that double the range of 225 kilometers, whereas lithium sulfur is 400 kilometers and lithium air 550 kilometers. That's why people started thinking of metal air batteries. These are available technologies and these are under development in the R&D stage. So people think about batteries, metal air batteries, instead of lithium air or lithium sulfur, but still lithium sulfur also some issues. Now the proven, now in the commercialization stage is zinc air and lithium air. So this is what. So energy density, safety and cost, when you look at the energy density, safety and cost, safety is much more better compared to lithium ion batteries. So these lithium zinc air and lithium metal air batteries. So you look at it here, this energy density of these batteries. This is what 1990 Sony developed these lithium-ion batteries. After that, this is several developments of these batteries. You can look at it. So now the sodium-ion chemistry, people have been started thinking of sodium-ion chemistry, and then lithium-sulfur batteries, and then lithium-air batteries. So the sustainable development, you need a sustainable development. You see that this metal air batteries, it's about 2-3 times higher than these existing batteries. So when you look at the metal air batteries development, so the first battery in 1878 of zinc air battery, then they reported iron air and aluminum air batteries, then the lithium air batteries. You look at the quite developments of zinc air batteries and lithium air batteries. So what is this metal air batteries? So you see these metal air batteries. It's not just a metal. You need a metal and air. That's it. And you need a metal and air. Then you add a catalyst. So what happens in this metal? It gets oxidized here, and you have a catalyst here, where oxygen comes in. Oxygen reduction, oxygen evolution taking place. So this is a metal air battery, and the simplest. If you change the metal, if you change it for zinc, then it's called zinc air batteries. If you change aluminum, metal, aluminum air battery. If you change iron, and if you change magnesium, and it's a magnesium air battery. So just you need a metal, and you just need a catalyst in the cathode and a metal in the anode. So these are the batteries: aluminum air, iron air, lithium air, and people working for lithium air because the specific energy density and the open circuit voltage for this battery is quite high compared to other batteries. And this lithium air has theoretical specific energy is around 5,200 thing, and so which is quite high than other batteries, than aluminum air, than zinc air batteries. So zinc air, the thing is the zinc air batteries, as I said, use zinc foil or zinc metal anode. And it's a lightweight, and these are the zinc air batteries. So negative electrode is the anode and positive electrode is the cathode. So the theoretical energy density is 1370, and the open circuit potential is even less than the lithium air batteries. So the reactions taking place in zinc air battery at the anode is zinc. These are all batteries in alkaline medium, reacts with hydroxide to form zinc hydroxides, and then your air cathode where oxygen reduction takes place. So you have zinc anode or zinc slurry, and here we have oxygen reduction catalyst, and you have a separator for the electron transfer to take place. The separator now called as electrolyte. So basically, that's what I'm saying. You can see this how the zinc is there. This is an anode plate. Zinc is the anode, and this is a cathode. Your oxygen gets into this zinc, goes to the channels, and oxygen breaks and forms zinc ions. So this is the anode oxidation. The zinc anode oxidation takes place. Cathode oxygen reduction and evolution reaction takes place. So if you change the metal to zinc to lithium, and it's a lithium air battery. If you change iron air battery, if you change aluminum, it's aluminum air battery. So just a metal. You see this zinc is cheaper other material. If you take iron air battery, iron is very plenty available in our country. So this is what the future people have been thinking of to go for. Lithium, you need to depend on many countries like China and other only few countries. So zinc is cheaper. And so what are the problems in these metal batteries? So you during charging and discharging, there is you lose the performance when you charge and discharge the battery. There is a loss in the performance, and this loss in they will call as round trip efficiency or Coulombic efficiency of cycle life, and this performance capacity all their loss, it depends on the catalyst. So all depends on the materials. It's not about the electrode, anode electrode. It's about the cathode, where is the oxygen reduction. I was telling about oxygen reduction. There's a 4 electron transfer. There is a major issues. So the oxygen and the air comes in and the mass transport. So the catalyst plays a major role in these metal air batteries. So oxygen reduction reaction takes place. Just a molecule. Just you have a metal and air. Air is available freely. From air you get oxygen. So from the oxygen, there is oxygen reduction taking place during discharge, and oxygen evolution taking place during recharge. And both reactions are sluggish. Sluggish means very slow reactions, and that's why you need a better catalyst to improve this performance of the oxygen reduction reaction during discharge and oxygen evolution reaction during recharge. In a metal air battery, and you have metal is cheaper, and the only thing is you need a better catalyst, and then you need to improve the efficiency, that is low round trip efficiency. And so what is needed at this point is efficient oxygen electrocatalyst. So catalyst you need to improve the kinetics of these reactions, like oxygen reduction as well as oxygen evolution reactions. These are sluggish kinetics, and you need to improve these kinetics of these reactions. And so you need to improve the air electrode. So the anode is a metal part, and the cathode is you have a oxygen reduction where oxygen evolution takes place. You use a catalyst. So the anode architecture you no need to change, but at least you need the major performance depends on the cathode. So where the oxygen comes in, where the air cathode, where oxygen reduction on oxygen evolution takes place. So this catalyst is much more important to accelerate the sluggish kinetics. So you need an efficient electrocatalyst to. So this is a configuration of lithium air, and it's an open system. You can see during charging, and because of oxygen is obtained from air. So what happens? The oxygen comes here. You can see the oxygen comes and get oxidized, and then so during discharging, oxygen reduction reaction takes place, and charging, oxygen evolution reaction takes place. So this is simpler, and this is what we need to focus on, this part where oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution reactions where to increase the performance. So when you look at this, the cell design, so as I said, you need a flow field for oxygen airflow. This is a flow field for air electrode, and this is your catalyst layer, and this is the electrolyte compartment. And if you use iron, or you can use iron electrode. If you use zinc, you can use zinc foil. So this design is quite similar for all air batteries. So all air batteries depend on if you use iron, you can use iron. If you want the zinc air, you can use zinc air battery. So the development should be taken place in this air electrodes. This is what it's much more needed. You need a better catalyst to develop the air electrode, and so air cathode. So what is the status of the catalyst till now is people have been working on oxygen reduction catalyst. So the platinum is the best catalyst for oxygen reduction reaction, and it costs $1,430 per ounce. And oxygen evolution reaction, iridium, the best catalyst is iridium for the oxygen evolution reaction. But these are more expensive catalysts, and when you want to use this catalyst as in your metal batteries, then you are you're increasing the cost of the battery. So you want to replace this expensive platinum or iridium by cheaper metals, because your anode is cheaper. Like you are using zinc air battery, zinc is cheaper. If you use iron is cheaper, or aluminum air battery. There are some aluminum air battery, the aluminum is cheaper. So you want to replace it, you want to replace with some other metal which is cheaper. So people, when you look at this over potential versus this one, when you look at the cheaper metals, then cobalt or iridium. So we need to find a new material or new catalyst to develop this oxygen reduction as well as oxygen evolution reaction takes place to these things. All these reactions, not only you can use in the Mac batteries, you can use in fuel cells or you can use in water electrolyzer. So these are also this oxygen electrochemistry is common. So you can use even in these other clean energy devices. So what we need to is we want to replace the expensive platinum and iridium by a cheaper material, so that the cost of the metal battery will be reduced and it can be utilized. So when you look at it, this is a lithiated spinel. There are two forms here. Just take lithium carbonate and cobalt oxide. You grind it and calcine at 400 degrees centigrade for 7 days. You got a low temperature spinel. The same material you just heat it at 800 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. You get high temperature. And this high temperature layered structure, what you use in your lithium-ion batteries. So this material they use in lithium-ion batteries, because layered structure where the lithium in lithium-ion batteries, your lithium insertion and extraction takes place very fast, and this material is being used. So we want to estimate, we want to evaluate these these two materials for oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution. So we have just taken the lithium-ion battery material, lithium-ion battery, low temperature lithium cobalt oxide. It's a layered structure, and this is a spinel structure. Same composition, same thing, only the structure is different. So this structure is totally different. This is spinel structure and this layered arrangement of atoms is different. But all the atoms are same, composition is same, only the structure arrangement is different. And you synthesize this low temperature and this is high temperature. And you see the atoms how arranged in high temperature and in the low temperature how it has been arranged. So we confirm with the XRD how the low temperature and high temperature spinel. You can see the cobalt oxide. Just say cobalt oxide, we just do lithium inside the matrix. One is a spinel, this is a spinel structure, and this is a layered structure. So you can see the difference in the XRD patterns, and you can fit the refinement to check the patterns of this lithium doped at low temperature spinel. This is a spinel structure, and this red one is a layered structure. You can see with the XRD and refinement to fit the parameters. So cobalt oxide also is a spinel structure, and we are electrochemists. We just check the oxygen evolution potential. When you look at the oxygen evolution, there this is a then 1 molar KOH electrolyte, alkaline electrolyte. This catalyst, we are replacing this cobalt catalyst with the different structures with the same spinel structure and layered structure. We just want to replace the platinum and the iridium. That is the idea. We just replacing it. So when you put it in potassium hydroxide, this is a cyclic voltagram of electrochemistry cyclic voltagram. You look at it, there is a redox couple of 3+ to 4+, and this redox couple and this region above 1.6 volt is the region where oxygen evolution reaction takes place. So this catalyst, what I'm saying is we want to use it for both oxygen evolution as well as for oxygen reduction reaction. So this reaction takes place, oxygen evolution reaction takes place above 1.6 volt. Where when your redox couple comes at lower potential, then your catalyst comes, your oxygen evolution reaction comes at lower potential. So you need a oxygen evolution reaction to occur at lower potential. For any good catalyst, this oxygen evolution reaction should occur at lower potential. That means it's a very good catalyst. So when you look at these three materials all are same cobalt materials, but the different structures, when you look at them, the potential, redox couple potential also changes. You can see this potential is a higher potential, this is a lower potential. So this redox potential changes. Obviously, you see the oxygen evolution reaction for this low temperature lithium cobalt oxide at very low temperature. Lithium cobalt oxide at very low onset potential. So this gives a better OER material, you can see here. So what happens? So that is at 10 millivolt scan rate. We want to reduce the cyclic voltagram in a 5 millivolt scan rate to see what's happening, the peaks in the 5 millivolt scan rate. So this is a spinel structure, cobalt oxide, you dope lithium, and you retain the spinel structure. It's called low temperature. So this is a 3+ to 4+ and 4+ to 3+ cobalt. So lithium insertion extraction takes place, and this is a layered structure where you can see this peak is very predominant. This peak is higher compared to this peak. This peak is not higher. This peak is due to the layered structure, lithium insertion and extraction. During charging and discharging, lithium insertion takes place very fast. Here, spinel structure. That's why this material has been used in lithium ion batteries, because the lithium, when you're doing charging and discharging, lithium goes and comes out in this one. So that is what the people used this material in lithium ion batteries. And we have tried this material for this oxygen evolution. You can see that the oxygen evolution reaction takes place at low onset potential, and this material is giving better performance. As I said, the redox couple helps in the oxygen evolution reaction, oxygen production, evolution, oxygen producing, oxygen production, evolution reaction. So these redox couples, when you take iridium oxide, ruthenium oxide, these redox couples versus RHE, reversible hydrogen electrode, it's 1.36, and this 1. When you take cobalt oxide, 1.5, so very high, and when you take low temperature lithium cobalt oxide, is 1.55. So this oxygen evolution potential, these also have a redox couples, which helps in the potential of the redox couple, which helps in the having better catalyst. So this is like nickel cobalt oxide, very high, and high temperature lithium cobalt oxide, low temperature. So among these, when you look at the Moss activity, this low temperature lithium cobalt oxide, that is spinel structure, shows very good Moss activity performance compared to other catalysts, compared to iridium oxide. So as I said, we want to replace commercial iridium oxide. Then we look at the TM images, aberration corrected as TM images, to look at the layered structure and spinel structure. And these are A to D's cobalt oxide spinel structure. You can see the atoms very clearly, how the spinel structure has been arranged. And E to H is high temperature lithium cobalt oxide, where you can see the layer structure. You see the H, how the layers, atoms have been arranged in the layered structure. And I to K, and it is like again a low temperature lithium cobalt oxide. This spinel structure D and K, clearly you can see that it has been clearly seen the spinel structures, and this H is the layered structures. So you can even pinpoint the cobalt 2+, 3+, lithium plus from these materials. You can see the structure wise, point wise, how the atoms have been located in these materials, how the atoms have been located, and you can see the arrangement of the atoms in this crystal lattice. So as I said, this low temperature lithium cobalt oxide has a spinel structure. You can see that. I want to see the surface, whether it is a spinel structure or layered structure. When you look at the surface, it is not 100% spinel structure. It has like a few impurities of layered structures. See, in the surface, it has a layered structure. In the bulk, it is spinel structure. So like 1 or 2 layers impurities are present. So we try to calculate it for like 10-20 samples to optimize, to remove the high temperature lithium cobalt oxide in the surface impurities. So we want to remove the impurities present in the surface of the high temperature lithium cobalt oxide. We tried different temperatures, but still we cannot be able to remove. So it is like 99% or just it's a little bit contamination in the layer of layered structure in the surface, 1 or 2 layers. We optimized, and we said at least 1 or 2 layers have been contaminated with them. So it is not 100% pure low temperature lithium cobalt oxide. It is like in the surface, it has some layered structure is present in the surface. So when you look at the oxygen evolution reaction is upward peak. Oxygen evolution reaction is oxygen production. These are upward peak. in electrochemistry. So this peak is higher, that means it's a best catalyst, and also onset potential should be lower for a good catalyst. So when you look at this oxygen evolution reaction, look at the blue one, low temperature lithium cobalt oxide, iridium oxide. Though iridium oxide is very good catalyst, at lower potential range, it's supposed you see the potential range for iridium oxide. Iridium oxide is very expensive. That is the idea. We want to change it. We tried cobalt oxide. You see the cobalt oxide peak and lithium cobalt oxide peak. So you see the cobalt oxide. This is a pink, the cobalt oxide and lithium cobalt oxide. You see the double, 2 times higher for the lithium cobalt oxide. So this is how it has been changed. And the performance, when it higher potential, the performance matches with the iridium oxide. So this is what a very fantastic study to know how this material behavior with the same material, same all cobalt, lithium, all same material, but the arrangement and things. And when you look at the pH 13, that is alkaline medium like seawater, you can say seawater's pH is 13, but 13 14, and the neutral medium, this catalyst is stable. The performance is very stable, and this is what. So when you look at this catalyst, I want to say in the air battery, you need both oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution reaction to take place in the air battery, because you need oxygen evolution reaction to take place as well as oxygen reduction reaction to take place in the air battery. So what we need is we need a better oxygen evolution, oxygen reaction to take place in the air battery. So I choose a material, lithium cobalt oxide, oxygen evolution reaction. I got better performance than iridium oxide. Now I want to test with the same want to replace the platinum. So the idea of the study is to replace platinum and iridium oxide. The single catalyst should do both oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution reaction takes place. So oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution at a single catalyst, it's called bifunctional. It's called bifunctional because it has two functionals. It can operate with the same catalyst. So when I do oxygen reduction with this low temperature lithium cobalt oxide, we look at it, it's showing very worse than cobalt oxide. So you see the very worse than cobalt oxide. You see the performance is very worse than cobalt oxide. And how we need to improve the performance, then what we did is we try to delithiate. We remove the lithium from this low temperature lithium cobalt oxide, 0.8, 0.6. When I remove lithium, the oxygen reduction peak shifted. And what happens when I remove lithium, the 3+4+ T2G band overlaps with the oxide band. You can see the density of states energy in oxide bands. For oxygen reduction and oxygen evolution, this is very critical. The oxygen 2p band. So when you delithiate it and you overlap in the oxygen 2p band and 3+4 band, so this makes so oxygen evolution reduction reaction is better. So what I'm saying is I want to replace platinum for oxygen reduction reaction. I want to replace iridium oxide for oxygen evolution reaction. So when I look at these two catalysts, when my catalyst is now I remove lithium and change the chemistry and make the overlap with the 3+4+ oxygen 2p has been overlapped. When you overlap this energy, and this catalyst is showing better catalyst. So delithiated low temperature lithium cobalt oxide, delithiated means removed removed lithium, shows better performance than the other material like than the platinum and iridium oxide. And what's the specialty of this material is when you look at this natural photosynthesis, they have a manganese cluster. When you do these plants, when you look at the plants, natural photosynthesis, they have manganese clusters, Mn4CF4 manganese clusters. They have Mn4O4 Cuban units. They have Cuban units in the natural photosynthesis. That's why scientists are trying to mimic the photosynthesis in many places, and they use Cuban for Cuban clusters plays a major role in catalysis. When you look at this compound, also it has Cuban clusters, cobalt Cuban, CO4O4 cobalt Cuban, and this we propose a mechanism how this oxygen evolution taking place. So water comes and absorbs in the cobalt site, and it forms a OH, and then it forms a radical, it forms a peroxide formation, then oxygen has been evolved. Similarly, nature has doing beautifully this phenomena in photosynthesis, where manganese clusters, where they use manganese clusters to get the photosynthesis. So the question whether that's why I'm saying. So we took a material, low temperature, then cobalt oxide, delithiated, and we overlap this 3 plus 4 plus oxygen band, and it is like giving better material. So that's what I was just same material, same thing. So you take any material, you can dope and tune the material, like structural tuning. You can do structural tuning, and you can do the electronic properties also. And vary the density of states. This is this is like insulator. When you cobalt, like when you want to change the metallic, you just dope with the cobalt oxide. When you dope, it becomes metallic. And what happens really for OER is when you dope some material like nickel or lithium or something, it increases 3 plus to 4 plus. Um, Normal cobalt oxide, you have 2 plus and 3 plus. When you dope it, it increases the 3 plus to 4 plus ratio. So that will be the more for oxygen evolution reactions. So, so So also we took lithium battery materials like cubes, spheres, octahedra, truncated octahedra, and want to see the whether this morphology, crystal planes in these materials plays a major role in OER activity. And we look at it, yeah, 111 planes, which is exposed more number of the 111 shows that 111 planes is exposing more active sites. So for this particular material, this 111 plane shows better activity. So based on the material, it varies. When you take cobalt oxide spinel also, when you take different structures like cubes, these are cube structure, octahedra, and spheres, rods, sheets, and hexagonal planes, and nanocubes, sheets, the TM images. So what I was saying that cobalt 3 plus is more important for OER. When you look at it, these materials, when you look at the nanorods on sheets, these sheets are having a more cobalt 3 plus 110 plane for this particular material. It depends on the material, some material, which plane is oriented and what are the active site in the particular planes. So this cobalt oxide planes to 110 shows more 3 plus, which is more essential for oxygen evolution reaction. So this plane is particularly is good for oxygen evolution reaction. So you can change the oxidation state, you can change the planes, you can see the activity. So we have seen all the cobalt oxide materials,
okay.
cobalt-based materials for oxygen evolution reactions. Now, why don't we use manganese oxide? Manganese oxide is good material, cheaper than platinum and palladium. So manganese can be used as a material. So we tested some materials of Mn2O3 nanoballs and copper doped in Mn2O3. So and we getting better good performance for Mn2O3 also. So this is a overall stability and oxygen evolution stability. As I said, for air battery performance, you need both reactions. Catalyst, the catalyst need to perform both oxygen reduction reaction as well as oxygen evolution reaction. Again and again, I'm stressing this point. You want to replace platinum and iridium because you want a cheaper battery, which you can replace cheaper materials like manganese or cobalt catalyst, and then your metal should be a zinc or a lithium, and then you are pretty, the system will be cheaper. So this copper will be this, and this is what we fabricated a prototype device. We made at electrolyte 6 molar KOH, and we made a MnO2 manganese oxide put on nickel foam, and we used this is the air electrode MnO2, and this is a tubular electrodes. We made a tubular electrodes, and we put some current collector and made it. And when you look at it, so I want to play this video. I don't know. So I couldn't able to play this video actually. So So this is a video where so we made a battery where we run the fan based on this I don't know how to play this video actually. Okay, so we made a battery. We run a Mettler batteries, a prototype device, and we get some voltage, and we made run the thing. So that's why I'm saying this new Tesla patented a 400-mile battery back using Mettler and lithium-ion batteries. So these are the electric vehicles using hybrid energy, extended hybrid battery packs. Tesla is playing a major role in electrical vehicles, and they are patented for the Tesla. So this is air batteries, zinc air batteries, and aluminum air batteries. In Bangalore, there is a company started, and some IIT also started running using aluminum. They just changed the aluminum cascade after some run, and lithium. So these are air battery systems. So and this new Tesla electric pattern hybrid pack system, they want big source. So they want some air batteries inside, and limiting the cycle life. So the summary was we have seen the dilithium lithium cobalt oxide with mixed valent cobalt 3 plus 4 plus, and it can shows both the ORR and OER and functional electrocatalyst in the lithium ion batteries. And morphology also plays a role in all these catalysts, whether the triple one planes, which plane showing, and also copper manganese doped manganese oxide also shows you can utilize in the Mettler batteries. So I thank Professor B. Vishwanathan, Professor Van Zin, Professor Mandiram, and KidsCon, my supervisors, and CRB, DST, and ECS, and NCM, postdoctoral fellowship. And I thank Professor John Goodenough, who got received the Nobel Prize for last year when he took it 90th birthday symposium. So thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing this wisdom, sharing your knowledge with us. And it was an excellent presentation. So may now request our participants to put forward your queries, if any. If you have any queries, please put forward your queries. Participants. Sir, a small request, sir. Can you display your mail ID, sir, so that participants will make a note of it, and in future also they can contact you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. It is visible, sir. So participants, please make a note of sir's mail ID. So if you have any clarifications, you can contact him. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing your time and being with us throughout the session.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
So kindly you can take leave, sir. So participants, For your kind information, feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Submit your feedback within an hour time. Feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Please make a note of it. So thank you everyone. So once again, please make a note of the feedback link, and we are going to end up the session. The session is going to get closed. Please make a note of the feedback link.